Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. In Matthew 18, verse 6, it said, "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck and that he'll be drowned in depths of the sea." So why can't we go ahead and punish these people, So many people try to protect them. In Isaiah 1:17, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. A lot of people say, no, we need to forgive and forget. But even in the Bible right here, it says, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Hello, I hope that y'all hit the thumbs up. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hi, Bucket List. She put hello and welcome everyone. Please share and hit the thumbs up. Thank you, sis, for bringing awareness to everyone. Much love and prayers for all, especially the children. Exactly. Hi there, Charles. Good to see you. Hi, Kurt. Okay. There we go. Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Jackie. Good to see you, sis. It's been a long time. Glad you're here, too. Without further ado, let's get on with this guy right here. He was a North Dakota State Senator, Ray Holmberg. And a lot of times I say about, they need to just go ahead and make a law and put people that are teachers, state senators, police officers, anybody high in power. They know better than this crap, right? They know it's against the law, but they think they're above the law. I think instances like that, they need a death penalty. Okay, it's well and good. Like Charles pointed out, he said that like Georgia had a statute where they could do the death penalty. I know Alabama, I think Tennessee might have it. Georgia and Florida's got it. But there's a major problem. He brought it to effect that somebody in Georgia disputed it. So there, with being a federal, so the federal government came in and said, no, that you cannot go ahead and kill, have the death penalty for somebody where the kid wasn't actually murdered. So you got to actually have murder before you can do the death penalty. So something needs changed, definitely. If we cannot have these laws and cannot go ahead and get rid of them, because really, when you're hurting a kid, it's like the death of their soul. It's the death of parts of them inwardly. They might not be able to have kids later on in life. A lot of different problems where they basically killed the child within. So in a way, I think that stipulation should arise, and they ought to be able to argue that issue because the kid would never be the same. It was damaged. So let's get on with this show. So here is a former North Dakota state legislator for 45 years was sentenced to 10 years in prison for traveling to Prague in the Czech Republic, where he paid to sexually exploit children. He paid. Wow. See, they think they're above the law, right? I don't care if you're Democrat or if you're Republican. And I don't want to hear something negative about the Republicans or nothing negative. This is about protecting our children, okay? let's leave politics out of this, but there are a lot of political figures, we can say as this, that are doing this kind of thing, okay? And Charles Rogers has brought it to our attention innumerable times. And Charles says the Supreme Court ruled that the death penalty cannot be imposed unless capital murder is involved. Hey, Steve Caldwell, good to see you, and I'm glad you are here along with Danielle. Hi, Danielle. So, according to court documents, Raymond Ray Everett Holmberg, 81, 81 years old now, at Grand Forks, traveled to Prague approximately 14 times between 2011 and 2021. During these trips, was staying at a brothel that catered to men looking to engage in commercial sex with adolescent boys. Okay, I kid you not, that's what it says. He traveled to Prague approximately 14 times. See, so Holmberg paid for sex acts with boys. During some of the trips, Holmberg used the alias Sean Evans. Witnesses told law enforcement that Holmberg did not want his name on the brothel's registry because he was a North Dakota state legislator. Witnesses also told law enforcement that Holmberg would also visit a public park in front of the main train station in Prague to procure sex from underage boys. Oh, geez. Holmberg also used the Evans alias to tell friends about his trips and encourage them to travel to Prague. In these communications, Holmberg shared an image of an adolescent boy that he called his twink and said that no one is ever too something young. And it says, remember Prague. He emailed a different friend a link to a brothel in Prague and suggested that they go that summer, writing the boys' rent at about $60, sex extra. See? He was soliciting right there too. Holmberg also wrote it would be decadent, but oh, so much fun, bro. What happens in Prague stays in Prague. Evidently not, because now you're busted. And I still don't think 10 years is enough. I don't care whether you're 81, fixing going to go to 91. I don't care. You know, you should never be able to get out of jail regardless. Back in the United States, Holmberg boasted about having engaged in sexual activity with boys as young as 12 and 15 years old during his travels. And you know, if he did it there, he probably did it at home too. He probably did it in different places in the United States, but he did it kind of secretive. I bet you, but they do it. They do it that way, you know. He might be like the Bentleys. He might be like that judge. What his name? McLaughlin went driving around, you know, just trying to find perpetrators. You know, I'm not perpetrators, but trying to find some people. You know, getting at stores, little kids, anything. You know, just wandering around to do that. According to the government sentencing memorandum, Holmberg's sexual exploitation of minors was not limited to trips to Prague. Holmberg established an online relationship with a 16-year-old Canadian boy, posing as a boy of a similar age in order to manipulate the Canadian teen into taking images of himself engaging in sexually explicit conduct and sending them to Holmberg. Hmm. On August the 8th, 2024, Holmberg pled guilty to traveling in foreign commerce for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct. Okay, on our tax dollars, I guess, right? On our tax money, he went and done this using what we pay him, right? Matthew R. Gagliotti, head of the Justice Department's Criminal Division, and acting U.S. Attorney Jennifer Poole for the District of North Dakota, made the announcement. Homeland Security Investigations Grand Forks and the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigations investigated the case. The Justice Department's Office of International Affairs and law enforcement partners in the Czech Republic and Slovakia provided substantial assistance. Trial attorney Charles Mintz of the Justice Department's Criminal Division, Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section, and acting U.S. Attorney Jennifer Poole for the District of North Dakota are prosecuting the case. Charles, we need to see if he's got any ties with them. Bud mentioned, what we said over there at Bentley Farms and whatnot. You know what I mean? This case was brought as part of the Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative to combat the epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse launched in May 2006 by the department. Y'all might think that this is, just few and scars. Y'all might want to just keep your mouth shut. Y'all might want to be quiet, whatever. But look at here. Here's another thing. There's a Jefferson County man pleads guilty to sexual exploitation of children after jury selected his trial, and that was June the 16th, 2026, when they did it. Look at these other cases down here. Morgan County man sentenced to 160 years in prison for sexual exploitation of children. Cleveland County man sentenced to 36 years in prison for transportation of child pornography. Why is this guy just getting 10 years? You know what I mean? This is in prison for transportation of child pornography. He went to that state. He went with the intent of raping kids, okay? He went with the intent of doing that. Why is it just 10 years? The case I did yesterday also, why was it just 10 years? It makes no sense to me. Y'all said that, it's justice, that they need to learn that that they're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, they're not worried about a little slap on the wrist in 10 years. They're not worried about that. Seriously. Like the one was so nonchalant yesterday and says, well, you ain't got to worry about this being illegal. It's not illegal to me. Okay, there's a 15-year. Hold on a minute. Let me bring this up bigger. Would anybody like to get on the stage up here and talk to me? Talk to everybody about this too? Okay, let's see. There's a 15-year-old boy in Georgia who is being accused by members of the church he attends for allegedly molesting a 14-year-old female. Therefore, I'm beginning to wonder about the preacher. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I want to put the pin it up on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We already know a lot of things that's going on there in Marietta, Georgia, and the Bentley Farms and such and such. This goes way beyond just child trafficking, this child exploitation. These people are big with the. Did you say they're big with Epstein, Charles? And they're also big with. They did the bombings at the federal buildings and the bombings in different areas. So they just go like this. And they were going to bomb a concert where Kenny Rogers was, but that got stopped at the moment. So these people are sick and twisted. It's more than just the fact about messing with kids. This goes way beyond that. There's a lot of murders going on. So we need to be a voice. We need to speak up. Let's stop being silent. There's too much of this going on. Hey, bro, I didn't see you come in. Good to see you. So what are we going to do, y'all? You go to a police officer, how you know he's not a predator, right? You try to change laws, you go to something like this. How do we know that we can trust a senator or this representative? Or how do you know, right? I knew I couldn't trust a cop years ago because my family had told that I'm the one that got in trouble. Charles, thank you for the knowledge you share with us. We appreciate you very much. Yes, we do. A lot of predators uh, attend church. You are right. Now, there was a school teacher that I was going to do yesterday also, and her husband, and she is just getting put on leave, and she knew that her husband was essaying their daughter. She knew it, and she was allowing it. She wasn't turning it in or nothing like that. But she's on administrative leave. That's it. That's all. Yeah, she got arrested and everything, but how about making sure she does not get paid, right? So if anybody wants to get up there and get in the box, just please let me know because you could have a voice if you'd like. I like for people to get up there. So look at that predator. I'm going to try to, I don't know if that thing is too big for it to cover in his face, but there he is. I like Chris's comments earlier and said, I feel sorry for the person that's having to take the photos. That really made me laugh a while ago. But I think that's kind of weird when I went back and read this. Somebody had put that he was over in uh, Philippines doing this, but this says when I actually went to this site, it says the Czech Republic and Prague. As long as we get out the pertinent information, and see, he's already was doing it at home too, right? Different guys on the internet, right? If y'all had been a victim or of anybody, I don't care whether it's a school teacher, an uncle, please stand up. Please. You do not deserve this. Find somebody who cares to be at your side, okay? The more people you go and tell, the better off. Because the more you stay silent, the more this festers up. The more these predators can keep acting, right? With more people knowing and having your voice, we can stand up and help fight. We can help protect you. Your voice matters, and I want you to know that you matter too. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. And I say, God bless y'all. Be a voice for the voiceless. And I do have my new book out there that's at Amazon. It's called Unshackled. And it does have a little bit about um, being at the trafficking barn, just a little bit. I do have something in there about seeing kids in cages at another place. So I want y'all to know, please support me and get the story out. The federal law this senator violated was supposed to provide a minimal of 10 years per trip this predator made going out of the country, but being revoked shows the devil doesn't discriminate. Yep, it's not just Democrat, it's Republican. It's both. It's both. We already know that. Good point. These people think they're above the law. What's it going to take? Some people I've been seeing some people say, oh, about somebody said, well, we need to get Trump to try to do a law where we can say we could get out there as an army of people, like Minutemen type of thing, and go round up these bad butts, and stop it because it's going to take us citizens uniting and stopping it. But why are they feeling sorry for the perpetrators and giving them less time? That's what I don't understand. What about all the victims' lives that they're doing, right? What about the victims? What about the children? Sorry, but I'm not going to look at this guy as a good guy. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say good in 10 years, maybe he'd be dead. I'm not going to say that. I'll pray for him, but you know what? I'll never trust him. And the other guys who had known this for years, who he's been writing, why can they be arrested also? Because they had knowledge of this guy doing this? They should be mandated reporters themselves, right? They need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law for not divulging when they knew that he was trying to get them to go to preg to mess with children too. Let's get all of them arrested. Y'all know who they are. Because whoever posted that about this person, that person that he had told, come on, let's get this on the road. Let's get this on the road. Protect our kids. Let's stop the nonsense and saying that we give a dang when you don't really give a dang. Because it's like, y'all seen the case that I had recently. There was this mom. She was at Facebook, right? And somebody contacted her on Facebook, said, well, if you essay your boy, your toddler, and do a video on it, I'll pay you money. She did. Then she had a gall of saying, but I didn't get paid. I never got paid for doing my son. Who gives a rat's butt whether you got paid? You should have never even took it. So y'all might be written, your kid could be written saying, do this for this and whatever. So please make sure that you keep a watch on your children's internet activity. They might say you're invading my privacy. So what? Your responsibility to watch out for your kid and to protect your kid. There's some apps out there that you can install on your phone that if your child takes a photo and shows a burn or cut, like doing self harm, they'll be notified the parent. Also, if you are saying some sex words like rape, all this different kind of stuff, that would come and alert the parent. Or meeting up or these bad photos and stuff, it will come up to the parent. So y'all get the knowledge that's out there. Get the proper apps to try to help you protect your kids. Okay, teach them. Do role plays by all means. Please sit down and do role plays. Okay, teach your kids. Right? I cannot say that enough. Please train them. I don't care how young they are. They still got to know because they can be grabbed by their hand while they're playing in the park. They got to have different ways and avenues to know to protect themselves and what to do. As per said, if they look up and it's not no one they know, teach them what they need to do, right? They're used to adults putting their hands down and they're used to just looking up, taking a hand. So protect your kids because they are valuable. They are valuable to you in your heart. Their lives are valuable and important to you. These perpetrators don't care who they mess with. They don't care that it's your child. All they care about is get their next fix and dominate these kids for their sick, twisted, defiled vulgarities that they do. Thank you so much. I guess I'm going to get off. I think I said enough. God bless y'all. Under OCD, what do you say right here, Charles? Let's see. Under OCG 1664 provides a minimum of 25 years for such offenders, which cannot be modified, suspended, probated, nor paroled. By in 2013, that was not applied to ex-mayor of Kennesaw for the abuse. See, that's what's messed up. This is really messed up. There was a guy that was written out mobile homes in Alabama. He got a slap on the wrist. He didn't really get prosecuted. He went to one of the trailers, convinced one of the girls, okay, you can have your own mobile home over there. I'll let you. And what does he do? He goes in there and starts sexually abusing her, trying to get her to do these sexual things. If y'all had sex with me, I won't make you pay your rent this month, right? That's what they say. That's what that guy did. He got away with it, y'all. He flipping got away with it. So this guy is old and out there doing this, and he just got a slap on the wrist. He didn't even have jail time. He don't even have to be acknowledged as a sex predator. Could I tell y'all something that happened to me Friday? Let's see, I think it was either Saturday week, Friday or Saturday week. I went to put in mind a little bit. I seen this guy. He was at a dinner. I mean, the food distribution place. And I said, I don't feel so good, so I'm going to go to Burger King. He said, we could go have a burger. I could join you. I said, well, I don't want to. I said, um, get to know you or not like that, especially you be a predator, da 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 da. He said, you ain't got to worry about that. I said, well, all I want to do is go to the bathroom, get me something to eat, something to drink. But I can meet you up there. So I met him up there. So just tell me, he's a predator. He's a predator. Well, guess what? When I got home, I looked up the name because he gave me his name. And guess what? He is a sex offender on the sex offender registry. After all, he's been stalking me a little bit at grocery stores. Well, there's per se weekend, not the past one, but the one before. He happened to be there. He saw me and he went in there. I stood up to go ask somebody else to dance because I'm trying to thwart him away from me so he could know that I'm not interested in him, okay? So then somebody else got up and moved in the view where he couldn't see me no more. So he moved to the table and moved to another area just to keep an eye on me, this sex predator, okay? So I got this idea. Instead of acting like, yeah, they're sex predators, instead of doing something like that, I thought reasonably, right? So I said, I'm going to get out that sex offender registry, show this lady up here and say, is that the same guy that's right there, right? Yeah, that's the same guy. What'd he do? I said, move it over to the left. He messed with kids. He actually messed with kids, and now he's trying to mess with a grown woman, right? He's a predator. She said, well, show this lady that's sitting right here when she comes back from dancing. So, a couple dancing. Okay. So she came back and she goes, I just had that guy at my house not long ago. I didn't know he was a predator. How did you find this out? Boy, he evidently saw that I was scrolling and showing his picture that people know about him being a predator. He got up and he left. He sat to speak a little bit, but I stayed right there watching. But she thanked me. She said, thank you so much for letting me know. Because I could have let him back in my house without knowing that he's a sex offender, right? And she said, so I'm thankful for that. And I have to get it out there, and I want to tell y'all there was this church that I was going to. And I was giving them another church, a chance. Well, one of the ladies that went there, the brother came to my house on his birthday a couple years ago. And he was knocking on the door and, everything. And he said, it's my birthday. I said, well, happy birthday. He said, you're going to give me sex. And he started, he came in and started touching me where he shouldn't touch me and all that. And finally got rid of him out. I went to church that night for the preacher aside. And I said, I know his sister goes to this church, but I don't want a division amongst the church, right? I don't want a division, so I'm not going to call the police. So he said, but thank you so much. A year later, the same preacher told me, said, I think you lied about it because you didn't call the police. Can you believe that crap? So I didn't go back to that church for a while. And so I decided I would, and they do have a predator that goes there. He's a registered sex offender, okay? And that's another one that messed with his granddaughter. He says he was removing a tick, but she was bleeding at her private area. So he said, well, my finger accidentally touched there. Um, hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Hold on a second. Somebody's knocking at the door. Somebody's knocking at the door. Hold on a minute. I'm on a. So then I go and I go to church, and it was this like a couple months ago, and y'all need to know about this, right? So then I see the predators sitting out there in the foyer of the church. I see a 4 or 5 year old run past that little girl. I mean, little run past the predator. What do I see? He reaches his hand and pats the little girl on the butt. I said, "Do what?" There's a sex offender. Yeah, he's not supposed to be around kids, but he was at church, and the little girl passed by, and he patted her on the rear. I didn't know whose kid that belonged to, right? So after church, I got with the pastor's wife and told her, like, I'm sorry that y'all look at me so bad and blame me about this. You said that I made that up. I said, but I want to tell you, the predator sitting there today, when a little girl ran past him, he popped her on the butt. She goes, well, you know what? I think you don't really belong to going to this church because I think you're going to have flashbacks of the things that happened to you. So I think it's best that you don't come back here. This is for that Second Street Church of Christ. And I will say this, it's a Second Street Church of Christ. I see that sex offender popped the girl on the butt. But I was told it's best for me not to come back because I could have flashbacks when I wanted to tell about that predator touching a little girl on the rear. I said, I'm glad I'm out of here. Get out of my way, everybody. I won't be back. I don't want to go to a church that supports pedophilia, that goes and condones it, that tells me I'm not welcome because here I want to expose that this person was touching a kid right here. And the parents were in the auditorium or they're fixing to come out of the car because she had come in the door. So I don't know where the parents actually were when, because I never seen them pass by the little girl, behind the little girl in a little while. So I don't really know, right? So I don't know where the parents were at this percent time. But I tried to advocate, but it said I'm getting blasted today. So y'all please be a voice. And the reason why I'm saying this because there's a parent that's going to that church that might overhear this. And I hope they don't trust that church anymore when I get condemned for telling the preacher's wife about this. But she's looking at me as being psychological, a liar, and this is no lie. I wouldn't have got that upset. You don't go like that and mess with a kid in my watch, and you do nothing about it. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. God bless y'all.